What's up, everybody? It's me and Pablo. I am just ready to go out to the office. I had a beautiful day. I've just been very self-care like, because I don't have any clients until 1:30. But I wanted to share this with you because it's something that has been with me for probably like 2 or 3 weeks. Pablo, come here. Pablo. Sorry guys, because you know what, he'll start barking in the middle of this lesson. But it's really important because there's people, and I'm going to give you my life story of how I found this shift and how this held me back, how I uncovered my limiting stories around all of this stuff, and then what you can really do about it. So there's 2 reasons really why I find that spiritual entrepreneurs that really have kind hearts, they want to do really good things, but yet they hold themselves back, right? They have this gift, they have this product, they have this service, and they want to share it, but they hold themselves back. And what is it, right? Hey guys, hi Tatiana, hi Kaylee, right? Lipstick does a lot for you. Hey Rocky, hi Katie, hi Amelia. So here's the deal. Spiritual entrepreneurs, 2 things. It could be one, that they're just not asking for business, but why don't they ask for business? Why don't they show up and just shine in so many ways? Well, they believe that it's not sacred to go up and say, hey, I have this thing, and it's great, right? They want to be humble. They want to be spiritual. But here's what I really want to break down for you, because I had someone here with me, one of my healers. He is freaking phenomenal. I, in fact, told him to raise his prices, even though I would have to pay more money. I don't care, because if I'm working with you on any way, whether I'm paying you, you're working on my body, you're working on my energy, I want you to be thriving, because I want that energy back in my life, in my circle, right? And I really want to see you do well. So I told him, like, I think you should raise your prices. And I also gave him some tidbits of how he could bring his business online and crush it. And he said, and this is like what I've been sitting with for like these weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks, right? He said, I want to keep my work sacred as best as I can. And I was like, you want to keep it sacred? Okay, this is the disconnect, right? This is really the disconnect. Because guys, what is spirituality anyway? And here's where people have really gotten confused, right? There's all of this funkiness about what it is to be in business. And I'll be the first to tell you that I had this same thing, because you know why? I have a background in finance. I work for Vanguard, one of the biggest institutions in the US. Also New York Life, one of the biggest institutions. But here's the thing about finance, is there's some shady stuff that happens in finance that I'm not okay with. A lot of sales tactics, a lot of BSing, a lot of like, let's make it look this way so that we can get these people's money, and then later, you know, we'll just deal with whatever happens. So when I shifted into this spiritual way of being, I had a bad taste in my mouth about business people. Like, I was just like anti, right? And selling felt icky. And it was just funny, because now what I realized is I had to dig into all of those beliefs and heal them. Because if I didn't, I would have been still walking around and putting myself in this box of whatever the hell I thought spirituality was, and thinking that to be spiritual is not to be business savvy. And that's just a joke. Because here's the deal, as long as you put yourself in this box of what it is to be spiritual, you are screwing yourself over. Because I'm one of the most spiritual people, but you know what? I have crystals, I'm into numbers, but you know what? I don't talk about that stuff all the time. You know why? Because I got bigger things to talk about, better things to talk about in terms of making impact, creating change. So you may find, you know, if you're in my bedroom or something, you would see, like, I sleep with crystals under my pillow, stuff like that. But I'm not going to sit here and spend my valuable time and voice and energy and units of my life to share with you that. And I'm not telling you all not to do that if that's where you're at, but I'm at a different place. So it's not that I'm not spiritual, but here's what I know, that the more spiritual people, the more kind people, the more people that are aligned with their absolute truth and power, have money, and stand up and share their gifts without holding back, the world is going to be a better place. So join me in this. Hi Amy, hey Chris, hi Tatiana. So here's the deal, guys. I don't know if you have these limiting beliefs, but you've got to clear them out, because you know what? You will stay struggling. So going back to my friend, one of my healers, right? And you guys, I have high standards for healers, right? Because even when I'm going to India, I'm going with John Amaral. If you guys don't know Dr. John Amaral, look him up. He works on Tony Robbins, right? So I know that my friend is phenomenal, but why did he have these limiting beliefs around his business and his service? And he's not the first person. I can identify with it because I was that woman that was doing those same things. And I thought, and I'm looking around at all of my other spiritual community, right? I live in Marina del Rey, which is right next to Venice, which is basically Venice. And I know all about these spiritual communities of people that are like anti-technology and thinking that I don't want to have systems in place. I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. But do you think that spirituality means that you should be anti-human evolution? Because no. We are here to do work, my friends, and that doesn't mean going off the grid forever. What work can be done if you just stay in the spiritual community and only deal with people that are in that kind of vibration? Go there, get recharged, love it, right? But know that there's people that need your work, and they're not all going to be here. So you want to be able to show up for them. And there's systems that must be in place for you to have a greater impact and reach more people. And if you have any hesitation with sitting here right now and sharing this, my work is great. My services are great. They will change your life. You should consider them. If you can't say that to your clients or potential clients, then you're not in alignment. And if that's the case, then there's work to do. So you have to just consider, do you really want to make it in what you're doing? So where do these funky beliefs stem from? Places like maybe your dad or your mom or your uncle or your grandmom or someone was like, I hate car salesmen. They're so annoying. Or like, I hate to be sold to. I hate when these people are calling me trying to sell me stuff. Who are these people in a pyramid scheme, right? There's like all of these voices. There's all of these voices. And then who comes up with an idea and says, you know what? I think I have an idea. I think I want to sell this thing. And then you take your idea, your dream, your vision, and you sit down at the dinner table with these same people that have all of those voices about the car salesman and the person that tried to sell them something at the mall, and then, you know, the pyramid schemes and whatever the hell they think about. By the way, I have friends that make multiple 7 figures in a pyramid scheme, right? So you have to know that not everyone that is selling is unethical, right? And at the core of everything is integrity. And that's the difference, right? Because I see myself as a very savvy businesswoman. And I've been in illegal businesses that did very well, and I've been in legal businesses that do very well. And in this new stage of my life, I am here with my business, and it's doing well. It's doing great. And, you know, I know that I'm going to make 7 figures. But you know what? If I had all of those funky beliefs that I used to have, I would still be struggling. I would still be doubting myself, and I wouldn't be able to show up like this. So confidence and conviction come from a place that is your true power source, right? But you've got to be willing to do the work to get there. It's not just I'm going to repeat this affirmation and then it's done. Guys, there are like subconscious beliefs that are pulling at you and trying to keep you small because it's going against everything that you think you need to do to be loved. Right? So all of those voices, who are you going to disappoint when you stand up and shine and say, nope, I have something to sell? And guess what? It's freaking phenomenal. It's going to change lots of lives, and you're just going to have to deal with it. By the way, maybe you should consider buying it. That's going to make people uncomfortable. You know, I'll tell you this. I had 2 friends whom I love, on my birthday tell me, thank you for the work that you do, and thank you for also triggering the fuck out of me this year. Because I trigger them with my like boldness, right? But why does it trigger? It triggers because I'm doing what they want to do. And we have these conversations, and that's why I love my friends, because we can say, hey, you've been like, this triggers me, or like, I don't know what this is, but there's something here. Let's like explore it, you know? But why they say that, right? It's the truth, and that's what they felt. But it's also the reason why a lot of us hold back from just truly showing up in our brilliance. So this is also why I created Sales as a Sacred Practice. Because when my friend told me that he thought taking his business to the next level, which I know would eliminate all of his money troubles, you know, like where he's at now, it would change everything. And when I heard that word sacred, and I thought, to be human and to be in integrity with your potential and to be in integrity and alignment and willing to express your truth is freaking sacred. And we're going to say it's not. Does anyone on this Facebook Live believe that it's not. Because if you believe that, then there's work to do. Everything is sacred. Everything is sacred. We may not be able to see the sacredness in it, but there is sacredness in everything. We are all here living and breathing. We are all of this substance. We are all connected to the substance, which we can call upon to create a life that we desire. So for you to choose, and I'm saying choose because subconsciously, some of you are choosing to stay in some sort of struggle. And why do we stay in struggle? Because it's familiar. I know I was totally addicted to my own form of chaos, right? Like when there was no chaos in my relationship, I was starting a fight. When there was no chaos at my home, I was like going to drink or do something. So there was like worries, right? Like my mind would just be like, you look too peaceful. Boom, here's your favorite form of worry. Go worry about this, right? Like I always had to have that. And it was so weird when I finally recognized it. I was like, wow, this is freaking nuts. But why do I have that? Because I grew up in this chaotic home and financial struggle was just the norm. I was more uncomfortable with a little bit of money in the bank than I was with a significant amount of money in the bank, because you know what? It scared the hell out of me when there was more than like $1,000 in my bank that wasn't needed for bills, because I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. And this wasn't intellectual, but I recognized it as I dove into the work. And this is what led me to create Wake Up Your Wealth Consciousness, is I was like, I'm more safe and more in my flow and more in my hustle and more in my, I gotta make this work and let me work on some things, right? When I was seeing that there was a struggle. I couldn't get myself out of bed and go out and get things moving when I was like, you know, I feel abundant right now. And you know what, that really happened in my financial career, because in my finance career, I was crushing it. My first month, I already made just over $10,000. I already like won all these awards in the company. And what happened the next month? I didn't work. Why didn't I work? Amy says same. She feels it. And a lot of my clients have the same too. And I watch them and I point it out and they're like, holy crap, you're right. And I'm like, I know, because I only know this because I've experienced it. And guys, this is the importance of having mentors that actually have been through what you've been through, because only them can understand it, right? So check it. I'm in my finance career and I was crushing it. And then the next month I felt depressed. I didn't want to do anything. It was like subconsciously I was getting this sabotage shut down, and I would shut down. And then what would happen? I wouldn't make money. I would recognize, my mentors would see it. They would be like, what are you doing? And I would be like, I know that I can do better than this. What am I doing? And I would get super frustrated, into a scramble. I would go hustle. The next month I would do really well. And I would do that. That was my cycle until I left that business. And I was just so frustrated because I said, I know that I have the potential to create everything that I need to create. Why am I not creating it? But when I look back on myself, I was not devoted to absolute transformation. I was half-assing it, right? Like I would go to my spiritual center, I would read Course in Miracles, I would meditate, but then I would also go out and binge drink every once in a while, right? I would go out and eat some edible Rice Krispie weed candies or something, right? Like I was escaping. I was trying to escape. I wasn't totally like everything my life, I'm giving my life to this. But I wasn't supposed to give my life to finance, obviously, right? But I learned so many valuable lessons around sales, business, and just showing up and sharing. Because here's the thing, how many people have funky beliefs around life insurance salespeople, right? And why? We need it. I have a lot of life insurance. If I die today, my daughter gets $1.25 million. And you know what? That makes me feel great. If she passes away, I get money, right? Like we have these things because who wants to work if something like this happens? But at the same time, do you know how many negative voices I had to listen to? So for anyone that is right now has a business, if you have a business, then you have a means for income. So when people tell me, yeah, but I don't have stable income, are you freaking kidding me? You have a website, you have a body that's working, you have a voice, you have eyes that can see, you can sit down, you can create something, and you can hustle it. And if you don't believe that, then you are limiting yourself, and you really should be in my workshop next Friday. But the truth is, like, it's you that's choosing this. And I can only shake you so much, and I can only tell you this truth so much, but you've got to feel it from your heart and step up and say, no more. I am sick of this. I will not put myself through this anymore. And when you do that, you'll see that life responds to you. But until then, you'll stay in the smallness of everyone else's beliefs and voices. And you know what? You'll be limited. So I invite you to just let go of all of that. And if you have anything that you would like, that you're like, damn, this made sense for me, or I can resonate with that, or I kind of believe that salespeople are kind of shisty, or like salespeople are kind of icky, and I feel really awkward when I share my business with my friends. Guys, do you know how many friends of mine have invested and paid money in my programs? And you know what? Yes, I take their money. Why do I take their money? Because I know that there's an exchange, and I know that with them exchanging in it, that and I do have a friend discount for friends. And here's the thing, boundaries, right? Friends that I can call and like they'll take on my stuff and we work with each other and we've been really good friends for a long time. That's different. But you know, I let them pay for my services, and why? I don't feel like it's non-spiritual to take their money and say, yes, I will receive this payment. I'm highly actionable, right? If you come and work with me, I'm going to make sure that you have results. And I don't care if you're my friend or non-friend, right? Well, you'll be my friend if we're working together. But if you're my friend, I'm going to allow you to exchange because I know that we grow through that. And if I would say, hey, come into my life, let me spend all of my time on you, that's going to take away from the time and energy I could give to my book, to my clients, to my family, then I expect to have some sort of exchange because I'm exchanging my life for it. Do you do that? Do you feel like that? Because, guys, like I've already said, and here's what I wanted to do a live stream about, but I'm going to do it on my business page later today. So if you're on my business page, you'll see it. What I'm going to do about a live about is that this day, last year, 2016, I created my first ever group program. And since then, I think that I've run, I have to actually sit down and do it, but I think I've run 8 or 9 groups. I've made, since then, over $150,000. And I have learned so much about myself, and I actually posted this video in my client groups, which was a video of me last year with this short little pixie cut, and I just was like a whole other woman. But if you would know what I invested in, like I've invested in a ton of stuff even when I didn't have the money. I said whatever there is that's in my way, I'm done with it. I release it. I am no longer allowing this to stand in my way. I'm not going to let money get in my way. I'm not going to say I don't have it. I'm not going to say I don't have the time. I'm not going to use these excuses and this bullshit. I'm going to show up for myself because I know that if I can unlock myself, I unlock my whole world. But a lot of you aren't really willing to do that. And that's the one thing when I look at what's happening out with people that reach out to me, and I look at what's happening with people that are in my client groups, there's some people that like I give them direction and they're like, I don't care, I will cry if I have to, I will beat myself up if I have to, because guys, sometimes love is tough. And if you want to have everything feel easy and graceful, you're not going to grow. And this is part of that whole spirituality nonsense that people think that everything is supposed to be ease and grace and flow. There is to a certain extent, but do you think that shifting into a whole new paradigm is going to feel like freaking piece of cake? Not always. And yes, like there are quantum leaps, but there's work to do. You will not always quantum leap without having some sort of struggle. Because the struggle is in letting go of who you thought you were and all of those voices that you have. So you have to be willing to do it. And if you're not willing, just be real with yourself and go get a job. But if you're not willing to stay at a job and keep doing multiple jobs and keep struggling financially, then step the hell up and fight for yourself. And if you do, I promise you that if you just do it consistently for some time, like I said, I see certain clients, they do it, certain ones they don't. And that's okay. Everyone has their own journey. But I will say this. Would you not agree that you are the most important person in your world? Because with only you being your optimal way of being and vibrating higher and showing up and seeing more, can you give that to your children? Can you give that to your future children? Can you share it with your significant other? Otherwise, everyone stays limited in your world. Or they move away from your world, right? Because I know that there's people in my life that I've distanced myself from because I know that we become the people that we're closest to, or we will lower our standards in order to stay relatable. And I'm not willing to do that. Because why? Because I live in devotion. So you don't have to live in full devotion, that's okay. But know that there are certain levels of results that come with certain levels of commitment. And there is bliss in the places where you become fully in alignment with your God-given gifts to share with the world. So here's the deal. Next Friday, I have a workshop, Sales as a Sacred Practice. It is going to deep dive into this. I'm going to share my exact process that I had to use to get my mind off of all this nonsense about why sales are bad, why sales are icky, why having a business is icky, why having systems is not spiritual, why we're going to get through all of that. And I promise you, if you take this workshop and if you do the work, right? It's a process. There's going to be some forgiveness work that we do in there. There's going to be some acceptance work. There's going to be ways of releasing and surrendering. If you honor that practice that we go through and you take action, you are going to make that $333 back many times. Many times. And you can watch it again and again and again. So, hey, Artin. So, you can do it again and again and again, but you have to be willing to do it. Otherwise, you're going to stay super limited and not even share. Some of you guys are sharing other people's stuff more than you share your own stuff. You back other people's products and services more than you back your own stuff. What the hell is that about? You trust and believe in other people more than you? If that's the case, you're out of integrity. You are not in alignment with your truth. Hi, Tony. So that's just something to think about. So for all of you ladies, and if you guys are my clients and you want to do this, then reach out because I'll have a special investment price for you. But 2 things. Change your life. Sales is a sacred practice. And Wake Up Your Wealth. It's always on my website. You can go over there and grab it at any time. And it's only freaking $249. And almost everyone that I know lives in the space of willingness to do what it takes, they take this program, they have results. And it's all about worthiness, right? So guys, these are easy ways. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to work with me. But I will say this. When I get back from India, I get back on the 20th, there's going to be some shifts. Who knows what's going to come out? I'm feeling some sort of confidence intensive. I don't know. I'm going to have an intensive with both men and women though. Because right now I have 2 private clients. Sorry, I'm getting messages that are blocking me. I have 2 male private clients and it's been good. I used to have male clients, but now I have gone back into it. But you see, there's just all these subtleties. And the subtleties, the slightest distinctions are killing you. They're killing your business. They're not killing you. But they're kind of crushing your soul because you start doubting yourself. You were like, what am I even doing? Am I supposed to even be in this business? Should I even be selling this? Am I even good at this? And it's like, it's not even about that. For a lot of you, it's not even about that. It's about consistency. It's about willingness. It's about asking for it. And it's about clearing out all of those things that are crushing your confidence on the inside. And a lot of it is subconscious. Because it's all of those beliefs. And you know what? Also monitor how much information you allow to come into your mind. Because even though I am a teacher and I love when people listen to my stuff, I'll tell you that I put on blinders. But the thing is, you kind of got to put on blinders when you really understand how to trust yourself. Because otherwise, you're listening to all your own doubts and nonsense, and you may just quit your whole business and go get a job and like give up on yourself and never like believe in yourself for the rest of your life. Because these are the kind of things that people do, right? And it goes back to that same thing that I always share. Is one of my clients said, I'm thinking about getting a job. And I said, okay, I don't mind if you go get a job, but here's the one thing I would love to see you do before you go get a job. Give your business 40 hours a week. Give your business 40 hours a week for 90 days and then come back to talk to me. Because if you give your business these 40 hours like you would give a boss, and you give your passion that time, and you commit to asking for business, you will have results. You're going to have results. And there's going to be adjusting the course, right? Because we have to find our sweet spot. I don't know everything. If you come to me, I don't know everything that's going to work for you because I'm not you. I can't hear what you're hearing inside. I can't see what you're seeing inside. All I'm going to do is brainstorm with you and show you, here's what's worked for me. Here is my recipe. And this recipe has been successful for me. Like I said, last year at this time, I launched my first group. And that group was funny. That was a funny group, right? It was so, price point was super low. It was like my test kitchen, right? I had to test it out and see what it's like. Half of you guys aren't even willing to test stuff. Half of you guys, maybe like and I'm thinking of all the people that reach out to me. They'll test it a little bit, they'll put it out there, but then they take it away. Or they're not willing to like kind of play with the pricing. They're not willing to like go on a sliding scale for people. In the beginning, you just want to serve, right? If you're really here to change the world and to change the world one by one, then you're willing to start where you need to start. And there's so many flexibilities that you can have there. Everyone's in a different place. Everyone's journey is different. But at the end of the day, it starts all with you being willing. So message me if you want to get into sales as a sacred practice. I would love to have you there. I will tell you if I don't think it's a good fit, but I'll tell you, you already know. If any of this information resonated with you, then you already know. But why you may hesitate, because you'll be like, oh, but it's $333. But what you're not thinking is, what would my life be like if I invested $333 in my business and I actually got out of my way? That's what you're not thinking. You're thinking in lack mentality, and you're thinking, yeah, but it's $333. That's like my car payment. What can I could do a lot of stuff with that. So you just have to recognize where you're living and how you're operating and where the results are going to get you, right? Because every choice gives a different result. And being decisive is a superpower. It will change your freaking life, because what you'll recognize is anything that you're doing to better yourself, life will support you in it. But until you believe that, you'll live in fear, you'll live in doubt, you'll live in lack, you'll be like scrambling around, and you'll always be trying to keep your head above water. And I know that because I was that. So I would urge you to take a risk. I know I'm taking a big freaking risk going to India, and it kind of scared me, right? It did scare me. Let me not say kind of. It did scare me. It comes in waves. But I'm willing to do whatever it takes, because I don't want to see what life would be like if I didn't go. That's not worth it to me. I will take whatever financial strain. I will show up, and I will create, and I will listen, and I will stretch. But what I will not do is stand in my own way, because I know better than that. So I hope you know better too. Let me see what some of this stuff says. Sorry, I didn't listen to you guys. Erica, I'm feeling the alignment here. Hey lady, I heard it called strategic ignorance for the blinders. Yeah, I don't even know if it's like, oh, strategic ignorance, like where you don't listen to people because you think that it's too much in your consciousness. Because you think of your consciousness, guys, think of it as like a box. It's your treasure box, right? And this could be a whole other life, but I'll share it really quickly. Your consciousness is like a treasure box. Your treasure box. It allows you to live in a certain way, to understand in a certain way. And too many of you are filling your consciousness with crap. You're filling that box, that beautiful box that's capable of so much, and that it does better with more spaciousness with crap. Right? There's a lot of limiting beliefs. There's a lot of conversations that don't need to be there. There's things that you haven't forgiven. There's hurt that happened that you're still blaming someone for, blaming yourself for. And all of these things are living in your consciousness, and when that's there, it is limiting you. It's limiting you. And some of it you haven't quite identified, and I know it because I'm still identifying more and more and more, because the work is forever. Right? Hey, Heather. So you want to be mindful of what you're listening to, and that's why I tell my clients to flood your consciousness with all sorts of goodness. And when I say goodness, it's things that keep you in a high vibration, things that remind you of your truth, things that remind you of the truth, right? Universal laws and things like that. Because if I were to spend 1 week with my family at a vacation home, I would probably forget like a lot of the things, right? Like I would be so limited within, like if I just cut myself off from all the positive things and I was just around people that like believed everything that they read on the like, you know, internet, or like listened to everything that they saw on the news and like doubted themselves and were living in lack, I would be like, you know, it would shift everything for me temporarily, but I would know how to get back. But I would have to be so strong in my practice on my own to be able to maintain this level of awareness, because we are all sponges. We're sponges. So you have to know that, and no one is going to say like, people say I'm not impressionable, and I say BS, you are impressionable. We all are. And that's why it's so important that we spend time with people. And a quick test that you can do is when you're out with people, notice when you go around people that have different beliefs than you, that don't like really quite believe in certain things, do you limit yourself? Do you shrink, right? Like for instance, there's people that come to work with me and they say, but I can't talk about my spirituality around this person because they're gonna be like, you're freaking weird. And then I say, but okay, but aren't you like sharing spirituality in like your life, and isn't this supposed to be like part of your business model, and like that you operate this way? And they're like, yeah, but that person judges me, like I know that they don't like it, so I don't share it. And I can relate to that because I remember me around my ex-boyfriend, he would not like it, he thought it was weird, and I would be like, you know, yeah, I'm going to Agape today. I don't really want to talk about it. Like I wouldn't like share it. And now if I talk to him, because we're like super cool, I'll talk to him and I'll just be like, yeah, I'm going to meditation retreat in silence, and he'll like make jokes, and I'm like, maybe what you need is someone with substance in your life. Like, you know, like maybe you need to do this practice, because from what I'm seeing, it seems like you may benefit from it. So this is the way that we stand in our power and eliminate these false beliefs, because we recognize that it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, that they're not part of this, right? So anyway, guys, so true, environments are so powerful. Yes, hello, Nicole. You totally butchered my name, but that's okay. Whoop, whoop. Excited for sales as a sacred practice? Me too. So guys, get over there. Message me. I gotta go. I don't even know what time it is. Chris, I'll see you. We have our one-on-one today. And I'm going to be on Tatiana's podcast later, so that will be coming out soon. By the way, if any of you guys have podcasts that you would want to talk about wealth consciousness, worth consciousness, healing, forgiveness, being your most badass self, then I would love to be on it. Let me know. I will see you guys later on. Bye.